Thanks everybody for coming. I work in the billing department of LPEA Electric here, and so I spearhead the budget billing sector of what we offer, and I have found that I can send a lot of emails, a lot of educational, this is what it's about pieces, but it can be kind of tricky to understand how it works, what you're responsible for, and the timeline of budget billing. So Monica was gracious enough to put together something like this so people could jump on and ask questions. I could talk about what budget billing is about and things like that. And I feel like hopefully will be a little bit clearer way of helping members understand what budget billing is and why we offer it. So I guess I'll just talk about it a little bit starting off, and then as people have questions, please enter them so Monica can get those to me, because I love to answer people's questions and help them out with their budget billing. So budget billing is a way for members, typically for an average member, we will use less electricity in the summertime and more in the wintertime as the hours are darker, temps are colder, things like that. So the benefit of using budget billing is that we take an average of 12 months of consumption history and we average out your bill. So every month you're paying the same amount on your electric bill, with the thought that typically our budget billing year starts in April. So you're going to start going through the summer months where you typically would be paying less, but you're going to pay a little bit more because your bill is averaged, and you're going to start banking what we call a credit balance. So you go into the summer and you're banking this credit balance. And then as we tip into the fall and go into the winter and daylight savings time hits and it's darker and it's colder, you're still paying that same amount, but you're using up that credit balance so that you're avoiding those really high bills in the winter time. That's the very broad and basic explanation of budget billing. So that's kind of how we gauge it. There are several variables to budget billing. We never know what kind of winter we're going to have, especially here in Colorado. It can always be different. So it's going to vary when we have months and months of super cold temperatures, things like that. Or if we have a mild winter, that can affect our budget billing, what we're going to pay. But essentially you're going to have 12 months paying the exact same amount every month, which is nice, because then if you're budgeting for your monthly bills, you know that, especially if you're on auto pay, and I believe everyone for the most part is on auto pay. So if you're on auto pay, which is also a nice feature, say around the 15th of every month, LPEA Electric is going to deduct $200 from my account every month. You can budget for that. It's not a big surprise. I will speak about our reconciliation month, our true up month, which happened in April, and how that works. That's a very confusing time for people. And like I said, I like to send out emails kind of, hey, watch your account, because reconciliation month is coming. So I guess I can just jump into that. Monica, do you see any questions right now? Okay.
Not yet.
So like I said, if anyone has questions, just jump in at any point in time. Happy to answer those questions. So as we go through, we're going through winter time on budget billing. We've gone through summer, fall, winter. April is what's called our true up month, our reconciliation month. So that is saying at the very end of those 12 months from April to April, your statement is going to true up. So the goal is with budget billing that you are as close to zero as possible. Our system has calculated your average usage and charged you for that, and you've stayed pretty consistent all winter. So come April, you don't have a large amount owed, or we owe you money. That is the goal. With that being said, there are a lot of variables. Like I said, a big heavy winter can make an impact. You know, if you add something to your service, say you got a hot tub at Christmas time, that's going to increase your electrical costs. If you're a livestock owner and you're putting tank heaters in your water troughs, or you have chickens and you have heat lamps on, or your son moves back from college, your mom moves back in with you, those type of things are all going to raise your rates. So a very common misconception with budget billing is if my monthly amount is $200, I can use as much electricity as I want, and I'm only going to be charged $200. Total lie. Not going to happen. Sorry about that. But so reconciliation month means that if you are using and paying or if you're paying $200 a month, but you're using more than that, it's all going to catch up in that April month. So I hope that makes sense, and I can word it another way if somebody raises their hand and says, I don't get what you're saying. Please, by all means, ask those questions. But our April, Monica?
We have 3 questions.
Okay,
that we'll
great.
get to. So what are the eligibility requirements for budget billing?
Great question. It's a very simple process. Because we use 12 months of consumption history to calculate your average bill, you need to live at that address for 12 months. So once you've lived there for 1 full year, you qualify for our budget billing program. And at the time that you want to sign up for budget billing, you have to have a 0 balance. Those are it. Those are the 2.
Awesome. And then how can somebody sign up?
Great. So our sign up becomes available to our members. If you are already a budget billing member, you will automatically get re-enrolled every year unless you call and ask not to be on our budget billing program. But for new members, that opens up to you May 1st. We offer it online through our Smart Hub portal. You can go on there under the bill and pay section. There's a drop down with some 3, 4, 5 different options, I believe. And one of them is budget billing. And if you click that link, it will open up a little window. And if you have a 0 balance and you've lived there 12 years, there'll be a green button that says enroll. It takes 2 seconds.
12 months, sorry.
Oh,
Not
I'm
12
sorry.
years.
12 years.
1 year.
There's no difference. Thanks, Monica. 12 months, then you can click that button and it takes mere seconds. It'll average your bill out. It'll tell you the amount that you are going to pay, and you click that button and you're good to go. And it instantly is effective. We do open that up May 1st, and we do close that down August 30th. So keep that in mind if you are thinking about enrolling in our budget billing program. It doesn't really benefit you to start it in the winter because you haven't gone through that summer months where you bank a credit balance. So do keep those things in mind. And for our members, there are some members out there that are not internet savvy or that overwhelms them to a great degree. You can call me. I can calculate that for you personally. It does require mailing contracts in the mail, you signing them, mailing them back, which is not really fun when you can go click on it instantly. So just know that's an option if you get in a jam and you can't get online.
We have a couple more questions here. So this was slightly answered, but what is the monthly cost based on? Is it an average of the previous 12 months of service? Go ahead, Amanda.
Right. So yes, it is an average based upon the 12 previous months of your consumption history. So again, keep that in mind when you're thinking about your previous year. I had a member call me yesterday that did have their mother live with them, and so their bill was higher last year, and they're starting over with their new budget amount this year, and they knew that their bill was going to be less, so they asked me to lower their budget amount. So it's very customized to you and what your average household needs are.
And Bond says also in April, I understand if we use more, we pay, but what if we use less? Is there a credit applied to the account?
Great question. Yes, so that there is a large portion of our members too that have a banked credit balance in April. When you bill out, if this doesn't happen April 1st, everybody bills out throughout the month of April. So it just depends on what cycle you're in. But when your bill cycle happens in April, you will true up and you could have a credit balance. So a member can choose to use that credit balance going forward until it's gone. Or you can call La Plata Electric and ask for us to issue a check. And we're happy to issue that check and get it in the mail to you.
Awesome. One other question here, are businesses eligible?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. We have over 597 members on our budget billing, and I don't recall any that are on businesses, but I can double check that one and we can send an email back to whoever asked that question. I'd hate to tell you yes and then look in the policy and tell you no, but we'll get back to you on that
Very fair.
one.
Awesome. So if anybody else has any more questions, feel free to throw them in the Q&A. Looks like we're just speeding through this, which is not a bad thing.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw out a couple other things that I mentioned to members when they call and we have phone conversations. When you are in your budget billing, or when you decide to do budget billing, it's important that you look at your statement and you only pay what's in the bubble on the top of your statement. What happens with our software that we use for our billing is it's super complex. You could be on a time of use rate, you have all the rates going out there that are different. You have your scheduled billing cycles and things like that. So if you start paying a different amount than what you're signed up for on your budget billing, it can get really confusing on your statement. And that's when you call me and I become a detective and try to figure all those things out. So what I have found is that if you always stick to your budget billing amount and you pay that monthly amount, that will keep your statement from getting pretty wonky. But you can always call me. I would rather you call and I look at your account with you and say, hey, you're doing well. Or we need to up your budget amount a little bit more to close that gap so that you don't owe money in April. So just know you can always call and I can always increase or decrease that budget amount internally for you versus you just throwing random money at your bill every month to try to guess things. Like I said, weather happens, life happens to all of us, so we can adjust it accordingly, but it's best to adjust it accordingly internally versus just randomly, if that makes sense to people. And it is our goal. It's our absolute goal to not have people have a very large bill due in April. Nobody likes a large bill. So if you choose to sign up for budget billing, please make sure you have an email listed on your account so that the communications team can send out those emails throughout the year, alerting you to the fact that you do need to call Amanda or you do need to look at your statement to make sure that what you're using is comparable to what your budget billing amount is.
We do have a couple more questions here. Harry says,
Okay.
can we see our previous 12 months before we elect to join the program?
I believe you can, Harry. You would have to do that in the Smart Hub portal. And I'm not sure exactly where to go in that, but
I think it's under the usage tab.
right, we've
Mhm.
recently had our website updated and it's really user-friendly and fancy right now. So I believe that is a question for you, Monica, as for
Yeah,
whether.
and our member services team can also view that for you if you will have to have Smart Hub to join budget billing, But if you're not comfortable using it just as an app to look at your usage, you can always call our member services teams to get that 12 months history. They're always happy to help anybody with any questions they have. We do,
Absolutely.
and yeah, you can see it in Smart Hub as well, just under the usage tab. You may have to adjust the date range in there, but you will be able to see it. And then we have one more question. Dave asks, what if you have automatic payments? Will you withdraw the budget billing amount automatically?
Awesome question. I also do the auto pay program, so those work great together. Right. So auto pay and budget billing work great together. Once you sign up and enroll, that's immediate. And so your auto pay amount will be your budget amount every month until April in that true up month. So if you have a credit, say you have a $500 credit in April, we will not run auto pay until that credit is completely gone. So great question.
Awesome. It looks like all the questions in the Q&A have been answered so far. And I was just checking through our policies real quick. It looks like in our budget billing policy, it says you must have a residential account, that we don't have commercial accounts as
Okay.
part of that program, which I can also just submit an inquiry and see if there's any chance of that changing in the future.
Right. And if
Don't
someone has a business that is really interested in the budget billing, you can always call and we can look over that on an individual basis and see if that would be applicable to what your needs are for your utility bill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, cool.
Yeah, it looks like all the questions are answered. And
Okay.
I just want to let people know we do have a page on our website, lpea.coop, COOP/budget billing. That goes over a few other additional, oh, looks like one more question came in, a few additional comments there. Vaughn says, does it help if we are a nonprofit? I think that Vaughn and Amanda should chat after we get a little more information from our policies. Because I would guess that it should help. We're always trying to help our nonprofits too.
Right.
And yeah, so that page on the website, lpea.coop/budget billing. You can contact our member services at memberservices@lpea.coop through email. And then you can also call Amanda directly at 970-382-3587. And her contact information is also on the budget billing webpage. But yeah, that sums it up, and it doesn't look like we have any more questions, then we can go ahead and sign off.
All right.
And
Thanks
thank you
everybody
all.
yeah, thanks for coming. Please don't hesitate to reach out to speak to me directly if you have additional questions or you've thought of something later, and I'm happy to talk about budget billing. So please don't hesitate. Thanks for being here.
Bye.